Imagine this. You have a house where on one level there's 4 bedrooms and you're renting each one of these bedrooms out to a separate person. Now, under scenario A, everyone gets access to Wi-Fi, so you give them all the Wi-Fi code. But at some point, the person in room number 4 has stopped paying his rent. Now, since he stopped paying his rent, you do not wish to provide him Wi-Fi anymore, so what do? You could try and change the Wi-Fi access code and give it to everyone except for him, but let's face it, at some point he's going to get it from someone. Plus, that inconveniences you because if you have any other devices in the house that were on that same Wi-Fi, such as the cameras, the door, lock, so on, now you'd have to go in and change the code for that. So that's not the scenario. That's not the solution you want to go down to end up in that scenario. Now imagine this: you have one router, and each person gets a code that's specific to their room. Now, if a person stops paying, you can just cut off the Wi-Fi access for that one room. And on top of that, just to make sure that they don't share codes, or I guess you can't really stop them from sharing, what you can do is for many devices, you could go ahead and start blocking the MAC address so that even if they do get a code from someone else, they won't be able to use it on all of their devices. So how do you do that? And that is where this device comes in. Now, this is a Dream Router from Ubiquiti Networks. This is actually a much older one. The newer ones will have a display on the front. But other than that, they pretty much look the same. You can't tell at first glance, but this is a status light that's at the top. It's not plugged in right now, which is why we're not seeing anything. And then this is the back. The newer ones do have an SD card slot there that can be used for the security cameras that are from the same company. But other than that, this port at the bottom, that's going to be for the WAN access, so you connect your router to it. And then you can connect your other devices to these, and this does have wireless built in. Now, some of you might be thinking, what if you cut off someone's internet access and then they decided to just plug a cable into here? Well, you can turn the outputs off for each one of these, so if they plug a cable in, it will not do them any good. If you ever have one of these and you need to reset it, right underneath that little thing in the center, that is actually a button. So if you press and hold it for 10 seconds, it will reset. Now, setup for this is easy. It's just a matter of plugging this into the modem and then connecting another computer to it with the Ethernet cable and doing the setup. And when you open a browser after this thing has booted up, it will immediately take you to the setup. So that's what we're going to walk through. And I will go through a setup procedure of assigning this at least five different Wi-Fi access points. And the reason I want to do 5 is I want each person in a room to have one. And then on top of that, I need to have an additional one for the devices that are in the house, so that if I had to cut anyone's off, the devices that I have are not in any way affected by it. Now, these are advertised generally as supporting 4 access points, but you can get up to 8 if you turn off the mesh feature. So let's walk through all of how to do that. The one thing I will not be showing here is how to create an account with Ubiquiti. If you go to ui.com, you can set up an account there. And so everything that I do assumes that's already been done.
Okay, so let's start off by naming the Wi-Fi network. What should I call this? Atlanta Wi-Fi. Just give it a password. Okay, so the router is automatically performing some speed tests here. Okay, speed test is done. Now you will get this warning about, this has to do with an SSL certificate thing. Just don't worry about it, continue. Type in the user ID and the password that you set up earlier. In my case, there's 2FA that's set up in here, so I need to enter that too. If we go into the settings on the router, then here we can start adding SSIDs, or wireless names. So I already have one called Atlanta Wi-Fi. Let's start just adding more that have the same name but with a number on the end. If I were doing this in real life, I probably should have named that first one for a number. But the second one, we're just going to call it Atlanta Wi-Fi 2. We can give it whatever password that we want. It doesn't have to be the same as the first one. And ideally, you would give each one a unique password. So let's go in and create a third one. This one is going to be Atlanta Wi-Fi 3. And now we're going to add one more, Atlanta Wi-Fi 4. This one will be. Now keep in mind, I said that I wanted to have 5 access points. 4 are for the tenants. 1 is going to be for my devices. Now let's take a look at what happens once we've added this 4th access SSID. So now we see the option to create new is grayed out. So now we need to make a change so that we can create more than 4. Now we need to turn off the mesh feature. I can never remember where it is, but if we go in the search box while we're in settings and type mesh, it will take us to that setting. So I uncheck wireless mesh. Yeah, wireless meshing. It will ask me to confirm. So just click confirm. And now that I've done that, I should be able to create my 5th, 6th, or even 7th access point if I want to. And now that that feature is turned off, when I go back in, you see I can create access points beyond the 4th one. So creating a 5th one here just to show you that it actually takes. Keep forgetting I need to add passwords for these. Okay, so there's our 5th one. Let's add one more. So we're going to add a 6th one. Like I said before, you can do up to 8 of these, although 8 is not recommended. As you start to do more, then you could end up with some elements of the signal quality going down. But okay, so I've created a 6th one, and there they all are. Now, if you want to be able to get one of these, you can find them on Amazon. I placed a link to a web page below. If you go to that web page, I have all this information written out in text form, and you can also find the links there to go and purchase these from Amazon, along with some other accessories, such as if you'd like to hang this on a wall, there's a pretty nice stand that you can get for it. So hopefully this information has been helpful to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time.